Hey man, so the Nunes memo. This is all over the place. If you haven't heard about it, yeah, you probably don't care enough for me to explain it to you, but I'll be real quick. Congressman, last name of Nunes, wrote a memo detailing just a few of the abuses he was seeing in the FBI investigation of Trump. The FBI really didn't want it released. Trump released it. The mainstream press is trying to downplay it. It didn't say anything that was surprising to me. However, it has detailed, and the FBI and the Department of Justice is not denying what I believe are some pretty extreme abuses, and I think it's going to lead, it has the potential to lead to some much bigger revelations. So you've probably heard a lot about it already. There was this dossier that the Democratic National Committee was paying for with Hillary Clinton money to do opposition research into Trump during the investigation. And then, so the FBI then got a hold of this dossier and used it to justify getting a warrant to expose. It gets technical, and they're using this technical jargon to say, oh, we didn't wiretap him. Just like, though, when we're talking about the wall and immigration, you and I say wall, a border wall, we're thinking lock down the border. When we say wiretap, we're thinking, oh, illegal monitoring and wire. The FBI saying, oh, no, we didn't wiretap him. We didn't physically go put a listening device on his phones. That's not what you and I mean when we say wiretapping. To us, wiretapping would mean any kind of monitoring of of someone's communications and everything. Just a common sense definition. Well, we found out that, yes, there was definitely wiretapping. The Obama administration used this political opposition research paid for by a political party to go after their political enemies. And the FBI, I don't remember exactly who it was, but one of the people involved in this wife was working for the company that did the opposition research, and he was getting paid. His wife was getting paid to get this information, to give it to the FBI that they were going to use to go after Trump. And of course, we all know about McCabe's wife. He was deputy director or something. And his wife got $750,000 from Terry McAuliffe, who was Clinton's. He's in bed with the Clintons and has been for years. And he was the guy who was in charge. His wife was getting $750,000 from the Clintons people. Just this one tiny little degree of separation from Clinton. But everything Terry McAuliffe has, he got from Clinton. And this guy who was making these decisions about this wife was getting, $750,000. So epic corruption. Nothing that surprises you and I, but now it's like official, and the Clinton-Obama people aren't necessarily completely in control of the train anymore. So there is a possibility, and those of us who have been, we have been down this road before with the Clintons. These people are slippery eels. They have wiggled out of everything for decades now, and they had 8 years under Clinton, 8 years under Obama, and George W. Bush there in the middle. His 8 years, he didn't undo any of the damage they did to the Department of Justice and the FBI and the total capture of our federal law enforcement system that was perpetuated by the Clintons and the Obamas. So the deep state runs deep. That's why they call it the deep state. Nothing may come out of this, yet there's just something that feels different this time a little bit. There's a chance if we start pulling on this string, more is going to come out of all this. There is no doubt in my mind, and there's probably no doubt in your mind if you've watched this channel, because you wouldn't watch this channel if you didn't, agree with some of this stuff, that there was major violations of the law by the Obamas and the Clintons, especially as regards vis-a-vis Trump and this investigation. And maybe when they pull this string this time, maybe it's all about to unravel on them. I don't necessarily think it's a good thing if it does. In my mind, the best option is if these people lost power, became irrelevant, lost all their money, and were suddenly wandering around out there in the political wilderness, showing us just exactly who they are. I think one of the worst things that ever happened to this country is that John F. Kennedy got assassinated. If he'd had a chance to embarrass himself the way his brother embarrassed himself, a lot of the left would have been discredited with him. And I think the best thing that could happen for the forces of common sense and good in this country is for Obama and Hillary Clinton and Bill to just sort of disintegrate into this cautionary moral tale, instead of making them the political martyr the way, maybe JFK was made. And I know we've got some people who on the channel who really admire JFK. Please don't, I think Texos, I think you admire JFK, and I don't want to, open that can of worms. We're just on two different sides of this issue. I know there's a lot of people who admire a lot of things about JFK. He was in an interesting place. I think on a personal level, I'm not a big fan of JFK, and I think his father and his two brothers were no bueno. We won't go there. Obviously, JFK was a heroic veteran, and he had some very honorable service in World War II. That's not the point of all this. The point of all this is, if this goes the way it could, if we really do pull on this string and the whole sweater starts unraveling, this could be where we start seeing our civil unrest, because now the left might see their heroes under attack, and they might pull out all stops in a last-ditch effort to save themselves, the nuclear option. So we're in some interesting times. The next couple of months are going to be very, very, very important for the near future of the country. I know everyone's always crying wolf, oh, the sky's falling, this is it, Antifa's coming. But this really is how constitutional crises come about and how things start falling apart. These little seem like nothing at the time that end up being really, really significant. And when everyone's already kind of got their backs up, and suddenly now their backs are against the wall, things could happen. I don't know. We'll see. It could be nothing. The Clintons have wiggled out of everything. I mean, nothing has ever stuck to these people. So, what are the chances it'll stick to them now? I don't know. We'll see. But it's something to keep an eye on. Here's the big takeaway is, we all know something's going to happen sometime. It might not be this time. It might not be this. But eventually something's going to happen. It always has. Every empire, it has always happened at some point. From the very beginning, they all crumble. This one will too. Is it today? We don't know. Is it 25 years from now? We don't know. The point is, you be ready, and it doesn't matter when it goes. If it never goes in your lifetime, it doesn't matter. But it's going to go in somebody's lifetime. And it might be your children's, it might be your grandchildren's, it might be ours, it might be our great-grandchildren's, but we still need to establish that legacy of independence and self-sufficiency, and yes, preparedness. And you know what? If you're independent, prepared, and self-sufficient, it probably won't happen, because peace through strength. If you're strong, peace follows strength. Get strong, people. We appreciate you. Thank you.